Okay, so now that I've done the main walls in plan, going back to the ground floor plan in the project browser by double clicking on that view to make it bold, we can see those walls laid out clearly. I want to establish the heights, going through the notes, using levels instead of reference planes. So we use reference planes in plan to establish the main constraints. Oops, I don't want that. Sorry, let's just close that. Sorry. And in elevation, we use levels to set the height, essentially, or the main heights. So you'll see again an explanation of the level tool, which you'll find again on the home or the architecture panel. There's the level button, and scrolling down there you can see the levels that you need to adjust and create. So back into Revit, I'm going to open the south elevation. Scrolling down the project browser, you can see there under elevations I have east, north, south and west. So double clicking on south opens that south elevation, and I'll make a new level by in the again architecture ribbon, go to the datum panel where you'll find the level tool, and this time similar to the reference planes, I'm going to hover over the end of the levels below, which you can see will give me an extension line, and notice that I'm beginning on the left hand side and then going to the right, which is a good rule of thumb with things like levels. It's not maybe as critical as drawing clockwise in the case of walls, but it's usually good practice to draw something like a level in Revit left to right. So as with the reference planes, I can use the grips by clicking and dragging on that open circle to change the position or the end of those levels to shorten them. And any field that you see is blue, you can click to adjust. Now, I'll begin with the lower levels, so they're black at the moment, and to make those adjustable I need to press escape twice, and then I can select any of those other levels. Notice I'm clicking on either the line or the text to select the level and make it active. The arrow at the end often won't do anything, so you need to select the level in the right part to make it active. And then looking at the notes there, you can see we're going to use the American standard for level names beginning with level 1. So O1 FL level 1 is the name I need for that level. By just selecting the level first and then clicking onto that field where it says ground floor, I can change that now to O1 FL level 1. So FL for floor level, and level 1 is going to be the lowest level, which is why we put O1 at the beginning, just to get those levels in the right order. And you'll be asked if you'd like to rename corresponding views. At first, just say yes every time when you're asked that. And if I look in the project browser now, you can see I'm not going to select anything, but it's going to show you in the floor plans now what was ground floor has now got a different name. It's important that you realise floor plans are not the same as levels, but often they will have the same name. So here again I'm going to select the level first and then click onto the name field and change that to O2 FL level 2. And again, yes to rename corresponding views, and you'll see now that the view in floor plans changes name. And then finally select the level at the top, click onto the name field and make that O3 CL level 2 again. So CL for ceiling level, and again yes to rename corresponding views, and level 2 changes name. Okay, so now I need to also change the heights for those two upper levels. So you can see 3000 and 5400. So I'm going to select the middle level there, and now click on the number field, change that to 3000, and when I press enter it should move. Now select the upper level and again click onto the number field and change that to 5,400. Enter, and again of course it moves. And so I want then the 4 main walls in this building to go up to that upper level. And so I'll select those by making a window that goes left to right only around that end wall that I can see between the 2 reference planes, and that will actually select the 4 main walls. Over here you can check that in properties, it should say 4 in brackets. If you get more than that or less, you can just try again. So clicking into an empty spot will deselect, and then you can just click and drag again and just try and go closely around that end wall, which should get the other 3 walls that are behind that end wall, essentially. I'll just show you one other option. If I accidentally select too much, so this time I will go around the walls that I want, as well as those 2 reference planes. Again, left to right. If you go right to left, it'll always select too much, but left to right, it should select only the things inside that window. But you can see this time that in properties it's telling me I have 6 objects selected, which is too many. I only want the 4 walls. So now I can go to filter on the ribbon and simply turn off reference planes, and then OK. And now I can change the top constraint in properties to go up to the highest level, which is O3C or level 2, the level at the bottom of that list, and we can see there the wall goes up straight away. So now to view that in 3D, again I can click on the house icon on the quick access toolbar, or alternatively, if you've done that before, you can go down in the project browser to 3D views and open up the 3D view that it's created from that list there. Okay, so then finally I'll just show you one other view control. I've been showing you already that you can use pan and zoom with the wheel, so backwards and forwards, and then holding down the middle button to pan, the wheel in other words. And then if you hold down shift and then do the same thing, press down the wheel to make it work as a button, then as you move the cursor it will orbit. And I find that's a much easier way of orbiting than using the other method, which is to use the cube, which also orbits. By clicking and dragging on that cube you can orbit around a pivot point. You can see because the pivot point is off center there, that's a little bit more difficult to control. But again, with shift and then the mouse button, it's a lot smoother because it's not dependent on the position of your cursor, essentially. Okay, so that's the main shape of the exterior walls. The next thing we'll do in the next video is set up those 3D views a little bit more, and also add a roof to the main building and the extension.